doing is I'll download the Duolingo application APK file and we'll install it in our Android device. Duolingo app. Okay, okay, okay. This is the one Duolingo. Okay, download it. 54 MB. Okay. Okay, it's getting downloaded. So once it is completed, what I'll do is I'll just drag and drop in my Android virtual device and we'll try to uh, intercept the traffic from the application, and let's see how if it is getting captured in Bubble. So our motto is to capture the traffic from the application. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll open my Bub suit, check my proxy setting again. Okay, it's there. It's getting downloaded. Yeah, so it is downloaded now. I'll just go to the download section. I'll just place it here, my Android device here, and I'll try to drop the Duolingo application. So as we have seen earlier, once we drag and drop, it gets installed in the device. Okay, so once it is success, it will install. Okay, as you can see here, it is installed now. I'll turn on the intercept and we'll see if the application is getting connected. So the Duolingo application is started. So I'll check. I'll already have an account. Username may 123. Password anything random and sign in. See, if you see here, there is an error message. It says we are having trouble connecting to Duolingo, and it says check your connection and try again after some time. So what is happening is when we install an APK in our Android device, we are trying to connect the application server. Here, as we have seen, the application is unable to connect to the application server, right? So this happens. Now, the thing here is we have to bypass the SSL actually. So in the APK has the SSL and we have to bypass it. So and in order to bypass the SSL, we will have a FRIDA server, okay, where we will set up the FRIDA tool, and then we can bypass the SSL so that we can communicate to our application server. And then the traffic will get intercepted. Now let's see that before setting up the FRIDA server, we'll have to understand what is Android debug bridge. So this Android debug bridge or ADB is a very useful and very versatile command line tool that helps you to communicate with the device. So as we will be dealing with our Android virtual device and our virtual machine, either Linux uh, or Windows platform, whatever is hosted virtually. So we are communicating with the Android virtual device, right? So two devices are making a communication. So in order to communicate with our Android virtual device, we will use ADB tool, that is Android debug bridge. So this particular tool actually is a command line utility wherein you can install debug apps and gives a variety of options. We will see shell how a shell access is granted using this ADB tool, and then we will be running a variety of commands on that device. This is actually a client server program that we can say, which includes three components. So a client, a daemon, and a server. So ADB constitutes of client, daemon, and a server, where a client usually sends command, then the client runs on the development machine. So we can invoke a client from a command line terminal by issuing a ADB command. Now it has a server which manages this communication between the client and the daemon. So actually the server runs on a background process on the development machine. Now the daemon is actually uh, is like a commands daemon, we can say, that run commands on a device. Usually the daemon runs as a background process on each device. So this is a client, these are client, daemon, and a server are the three components that Android debug bridge contains. We will see we'll see how the installation process. So very simple, like we can install ADB by just typing apt install ADB. If we talk about what are the use cases, the use cases is like we can connect the device, we can get the cell of the device, we can push the files in the sense from our local machine to the Android virtual device, even pull the files from Android virtual device to our local system, and also we can install the application. Now let's look at this, let's look at some of the ADB commands. So let me uh, go to the Unix and my Genymotion. So yeah, we have to set up the ADB. So let me tell you my setup. So this is my Kali machine or the Linux environment. Okay, and this is my Android virtual device from the Genymotion, right? And my local host is my Windows platform where this virtual box Kali machine is hosted. Okay, so this is my Windows platform. Now what I will do is each time I have to communicate to the virtual device. So in order to communicate to my virtual device, I'll make use of ADB. But now I'll not use Linux machine, so rather I'll use my local machine Windows. So in order to, I'll open command prompt. So yeah, so how do you install ADB? So it's very simple. You'll search for the uh, SDK platform tools for Windows. So there is a SDK platform tools are available for Android Studios, wherein you the command line tool or the basically extract it. Okay, so you'll extract this uh, extract the archive file which you have downloaded, and then you have to enable the USB debugging on your phone or when or on your Android virtual device. Then you can test for ADB. I'll show you how we can uh, make use of it, the ADB commands. Okay, so first of all, let me type in ADB devices. So ADB devices will list out what are the devices attached to the machine. Okay, as you can see here, it says non92.168.76.102 connected with port 5555 is a device that is connected. Probably this is the device. You can see 192.168.76.102. You can see it over here. So and the normal port is 5555 through which they communicate. Now if you want to connect to any of the devices, right, so you can type in ADB connect, then you can give the device name, and then you can specify port number. Okay, so then the device will connect. So here if I type ADB devices, ADB connect, sorry, ADB connect 192.168.76.102, which is already connected, I know, but still for showcasing it I'm typing. So it's, as it says, already connected to this device, right? Now what it'll do is, this is the ADB connect command to connect to the device. Now if you want to obtain the sale of this Android virtual device, you can type in ADB shell. So you see it says vbox 86p, so which means that we have gained the access cell command, or the we got the cell run in. Suppose typing ls, I can see the directories. Now if I type who am I, it will say root user. Okay, now there is something called data directory, cd data. So ls, so data directory, you can see the contents of the data directories. Local emp, so there is no such. Okay, cd local emp. Okay, so now this is the temp directory. What all files that we are going to send, we will be sending it in our temp directory folder. Okay, now let me come out of it.